Good evening, Coin Community, and welcome back to yet another Coins Weekly AMA. I'm your host, JC, Community Manager for Coins, and with me today are my teammates from the marketing and BD teams. We'll be talking about money without borders, stablecoin payments for Filipino gig workers. As part of our ongoing product education of what are stablecoins, how does this benefit you as the end user, if you're an OFW, an everyday Filipino, and now for our gig workers, people who work as freelancers or receive payments in USD, so stable coins like USDT or USDC. Maybe for our viewers, we have first time watchers who are unfamiliar with how stable coins work, the technology behind it, and how stablecoin usage can save you time, fees, and also security with receiving your payments for when you're using um, stable coins as a way to receive and even send payments, and learn how to do that as well with coins. So I guess to before we kick things off as well, I'd also like for everyone to please repost or share our live stream on Facebook or on Twitter, wherever you're watching from. And we'll also be drawing winners for people who share the live stream. And you guys will be winning 5 USDT. So use that USDT on coins, trade, pay for your bills, buy something with PRPH, and yeah, use the app, use stablecoins, explore this technology, because this is where our future of finance is going to be headed to. Now, I guess to introduce our panel, so I'd like to bring up our member from the BD team and also campaigns manager. So Manu, welcome back to the Coins live stream. So how are you doing?
Hey JC, always a good time. Yeah, doing great. Very much excited to have this discussion with you, right? I think the gig community is growing quite quick, and at the same time, I think it's very exciting as well that stable coins and crypto and blockchain is at the forefront of helping things become much easier, much more convenient, and much more accessible for these groups of people here in the Philippines.
Yep, awesome. So I'm glad to have you on here, Manu. And I'd like to also, bring on a familiar face. So she was on the stage last week as well. So Christine Lim from Hong Kong. How are you doing, Christine, on this Wednesday evening?
Hi, how's everyone? Doing great. All good, all
Awesome.
good.
All right. So I guess, let's kick things off with this discussion. So maybe the first question that I'd like to ask is this one. So for Manu, we have a lot of freelancers, people working for offshore clients. And how big is this gig economy in the Philippines? And what do you think are the biggest factors for this gig economies in this industry's continuous growth?
Sure. It's actually pretty big right now, and it's still growing. At this point, I think you're looking at close to 10 million Filipinos doing some form of gig work, which is already a significant chunk of the workforce. And within that 10 million, around 1.5 to 2 million are in digital gigs. So things like freelance, content work, online services, that kind of space. What's interesting is how it's evolved. Before, people would think of it as like a side hustle, and now for a lot of Filipinos it's actually their main source of income, which is pretty cool, right? A big driver is just access. Internet and smartphones are way more widespread nowadays, so people can literally work from home or work from anywhere. You don't need a physical office to get started. There's also been a shift in mindset. A lot more people are choosing flexibility currently, being able to control their time, so taking on multiple clients or building different types of income streams, rather than sticking to a traditional like 9 to 5 job, right? And lastly, I would say global demand. Global demand always plays a very big role. So Filipinos are able to offer their skills to clients overseas. So you're not really limited anymore to like local opportunities. That opens up a lot actually in terms of earning potential. So when you combine all of that, better access, changing preferences, and global reach, it makes sense why the gig economy keeps growing.
Yeah, and I mean it's just gonna keep on growing, and in this age where finance payments are being digitalized, I think it sets up a trajectory for that to be the case. So I guess the next question, maybe you can pass the mic to Christine. So Christine, the question I have is maybe what are you seeing on your end? What sectors have the highest participation rate for these digital gig workers?
I think basically kind of see it in three big clusters. So the first one would be IT and software development. So developers, engineers, those very technical roles are very active in these global freelance market. At second would be creative economy. Like we all know Filipinos are very creative, we're very talented, right? So there's a lot of designers, video or photographer editors, social media managers, marketing related like content creators. So all these segments have been growing with abundance of these content platforms like Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and all these other global design markets. And last but not the least would be more service and support roles. So it could be virtual assistants, data entry, online tutoring, and more. And these are some very easier entry points for people getting into this digital gigs, since it gives more flexibility with the knowledge that they can provide or the service that they can provide without being in a physical space. So what's interesting right now is we're seeing a rise of more specialized professional services, whether that be like freelance accountants, marketing related marketers, I would say, or specific consultants, depending on which niche they would like to target. So a lot of these SMEs that they need expertise but do not want to be in full time work physically present. So basically, you need to have like technical and creative and supportive work all scaling at the same time.
Right. And I guess, we'll see over time as we have more of these campaigns and target different communities as well, which ones will click with us, and maybe we can target those segments as well. So thanks for that, Christine. The next question I have, is, so maybe let's roll it back a bit. Define what stablecoins are. Maybe Manu, you can give a definition of, what stablecoins are, how do they revolutionize things like payroll for gig workers, the way they receive money, and also cross-border payments for suppliers and vendors from different countries.
Yeah, the easiest way I would say you can explain or describe stablecoins is it's like a digital version of money that you already or you already understand. Similar to like pesos or dollars. The key difference is that it runs on the blockchain. So it moves a lot faster and it doesn't depend on traditional banks. They're called stable because they're usually pegged one is to one with something like the US dollar, so the value doesn't really jump around the way other cryptocurrencies do. Where it really starts to matter is with payments. So if you've tried to receive money from abroad, you'll know that it's not always smooth. There's a lot of friction. It can be a bit of a hassle. It can take a few days, sometimes longer. And by the time it arrived, you've already lost a huge chunk to fees. So with stablecoins, that whole process becomes much simpler. Payments can come in almost instantly, and it works 24/7. So no cutoffs, no weekends, no holidays that you have to worry about in terms of when you can expect to receive your money coming in. So for gig workers or even suppliers dealing with international clients, it makes a very big difference. You get paid faster, you keep more of what you've earned, and you don't have to plan your life around the usual banking or the usual bank processing times. At the end of the day, it's really about cash flow. So instead of waiting days to access your money, it's already there when you need it. Whether that's to pay, for example, for bills, send money, or even just to reinvest back into your work.
I guess a follow up question I have to that, is maybe people are wondering how long has this been around in the Philippines. So in line with that, so are stablecoin powered payments new here in the Philippines, and when did coins start using the stablecoin tech for payments?
It honestly, it might feel new to some people, just because it's getting a lot of attention now, but it's actually not new for us. So we've been working with stable coins and blockchain based payments for quite a while, around I would say give or take 7 or 8 years. Early on, we saw that blockchain wasn't just for trading or for speculation. There was a real world use case in payments, especially for things like remittance, cross border transfers, which are very relevant in the Philippines. So over the years, we've focused on building the infrastructure around that, making sure that it's compliant, secure, and actually usable in real life. Not just sending crypto from one wallet to another, but being able to convert it into pesos, Philippine pesos, pay bills, or even move it into a bank account very easily. So that's really been the focus from the start, I would say, taking something that's digital and making it practical for everyday use. And now that more people are starting to see the value of stablecoins, it's it's something we've already been building towards for years to come. So for me, from our team's perspective, it's actually very exciting to see.
Yeah, and I think as you mentioned, like we also see, our banks and institutions adopting it. So it's only going to probably grow some more and be, more accessible as, options for OFWs and for our gig economy workers as well. So thanks for that. I guess the next question that I have, maybe Christina, I'll pass it back to you. So maybe you can tell us a bit more about, like, what partnerships does Coins have, that enables those cross-border payouts to freelancers in the Philippines, and what's the scope of those, partnerships? What's included?
Yeah, that is basically like our core focus. So I remember around February, I also had like a AMA with our key partner in North America called Veem. So we basically work with global payment platforms like Veem, Remitly, and more recently we basically joined Circle Network, Circle for the USDC. So this allows a lot of businesses in North America, Europe, and other regions, all the OFWs living in different cities, countries, to send funds back to the Philippines, often in USDC or USDT, just any stable coins directly into their coins.ph wallet in the Philippines. So on the local side, coins.ph, we basically handle all the complicated parts. Every single time we mention about stablecoin, I do always bring this up. So we are handling all the regulatory compliance, on-off ramps, FX conversion rates, and the distribution. And we also partner with like 100 local banks and e-wallets for all the distribution channels. So in many cases, all these payouts that used to take more than like days or limited by specific like holidays now can just directly land to their wallet immediately in minutes. So this allows more flexibility, removes a lot more friction to their international clients or just their business itself. And now clients can use the platforms that they can already trust and send the stable coins that we already support in. So yeah, that's how basically a whole system works within coins.ph and also the cross-border payments.
Right. And I guess, on top of that, maybe just to follow up. So yeah, what's the response been like in the experience of, freelancers and companies who've been using stable coins for their payroll use cases and, also for vendor payments?
I think based on the feedback that we've been gathering, it's quite positive from both sides. And it often comes down to the predictability and the control that has been very convenient for both sides. So for companies, when they are sending out the money or making the payments, all these stablecoin payments improve the visibility and the reconciliations. So instead of waiting days to wire and then settling all these payments, now they see near real-time settlement, so they can close their books faster. And that also goes to the freelancers, right? Experience is very straightforward. If it's payday, then the fund actually arrives on that date. It's just not affected by any other factors that they would have to consider, whether that be weekends, check again and again, like is the address correct, and then if there's any like frictions happening. So especially for the freelancer, this matters a lot because sometimes they're really tight with the timeline to pay the rent, the bills, equipments that they're perhaps paying. So these reliability may sound simple, but it actually brings a lot of real life impacts, and it's been pretty positive.
All right. I guess the next question I have, so I'll give it back to Manny this time. So, in crypto, you have things like your meme coins, your altcoins, but people might tend to confuse, or put it all under one, I guess, generalist bucket or reductionist bucket, that stable coins might be volatile as well. So maybe because prices go up and down, do you think that it's risky to receive a salary in stable coins?
I think that's a fair misconception that a lot of people have over crypto, right? But to clarify, not all cryptocurrencies by nature behave the same way. So when people think cryptocurrency can be volatile, they're usually thinking of like maybe Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Polygon, or some of these other meme coins like that you mentioned, where prices can move up and down pretty quickly over a short amount of time. So stable coins are by definition different. So they're designed to stay fixed, dependent on what they are pegged to. So usually the pegging is 1:1 with the US dollar, or it can also be 1:1 with the Philippine peso. So if you're receiving something like 100 USDT or 100 USDC, it's meant to stay at around 100 US dollars in terms of value. So it doesn't swing the same way other cryptocurrencies do. So what you're really getting whenever you're transacting with stablecoins is the benefit of speed and ease from crypto and the blockchain technology without that price volatility. So that's why a lot of people use stablecoins specifically for payments or salaries, since it keeps things predictable, which is important when you're, of course, building out your budget to cover your daily expenses.
Awesome. Yeah, I think it's really important to have security, and in this space where things can be volatile, having something that's designed to be fixed makes it such that the tech is usable, and people don't have to worry or stay up at night thinking if the value of what they receive will go up or down. So back to you, Christine. So maybe the question I'd like to ask is this one. So there are also like other competitors and other people who offer stablecoin services. So why should I, or why should our audience tuned in use coins specifically, for example, for their freelance payroll or to receive money?
Because you're great. Just honestly speaking, I think it really boils down to like three things. First one is trust, second one is integration, and third one is local relevance. So we coins.ph are licensed by BSP as both VASP and also EMI. So this basically means we have a proper license. We operate under strict regulatory standards. And this is very important when you're talking about your income and savings. It's something that you don't want to risk. You want to go to someone who you can actually trust to. So these are the main key points that I wanted to highlight over there with the license part. And secondly, we're deeply integrated into how, like Filipinos, we actually can move money in our daily lives. So payouts can directly go to your coins.ph wallet. And then from there, you have a flexibility to do whatever you want to do. You can instantly convert it to pesos if you want to directly use it in your daily life. You can still keep it into either the stable coins and buy different tokens. If you want to invest, you can also cash out to 100 banks and e-wallets. Or use the balance directly to pay your bills, or just go to your supermarket and pay your grocery bills, right? So there are flexibility of what you can do with the money that you receive. And third, we've been in this space for a long time. So we focus on remittances, cross-border payments, which is the reason why we have a lot of payment partners across the world, and also the financial service in the for Filipinos. So we're just not listing token as like a small exchange. We're actually offering the end-to-end experience that makes your whole payroll experience a lot smoother and faster, and just really more convenient for you. So just you can just think it as we're like a one financial app that you can use it, and we don't really have to think so much about like which other app do I have to use to do certain things. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Christine. I think since we do have a little bit of time, I'll just probably put on a community question from our audience. So no worries, nothing too difficult. So I think the question that I'd like to pick out is this one. So based on your knowledge, I guess. So this one comes from our Twitter. So Oza, Ricky, and Dika, they ask, what barriers still prevent widespread adoption of stablecoins among Filipino freelancers? So I guess for me, like just a quick insight here is there's still a lot of product education to do. And I think this AMA is, one way that we reach a mass audience to be able to understand that barriers to entry or apprehensions they have to help them adopt stablecoins more. Maybe you guys have some insights as well from your partners or community members about, what's preventing that adoption of stablecoins. Anyone would like to add to that?
Sure. I can go first. I
Yeah.
agree with you, JC. I think there's mainly two things, right? First is definitely education. A lot of Filipinos, well, not just Filipinos, like everyone globally in general, there's still that negative thinking that crypto in general is risky, crypto in general is a scam. And I think that's one of the things that we're trying to pull away from. That misconception that the main use case of crypto is a get rich quick scheme type of ordeal or type of deal, right? When in reality, aside from trading these meme coins, there are many, many real world use cases. Remittance is just one of them, right? There's a lot of other use cases aside from remittance, like using stable coins as a hedge against inflation, etc., etc. And the main need that needs to be addressed before we get over that hurdle is definitely education. And that's why Christine, myself, and the whole Coins company in general, we have a lot of tours, educational initiatives with schools, with corporations, with the government, etc., wherein we try to push for overall education surrounding cryptos, surrounding stable coins, etc., and what else they can be used for. I think second is just availability. So right now there's only a few players that can actually make use of stable coins. So for example, if I want to use stable coins, if I want to send USDT or USDC, there are only a select few players I can go to. I think that's over time it'll improve. Maybe in the next one, maybe in the next 5 or 10 years, it will be as common as, like, for example, our reliance on the internet. And once that happens, or once that happens, it will be much easier and much more convenient for users to make use of stable coins for other different purposes.
I think one more
Christine,
point I want to also add here is if you think about how the experience used to be, like it's just very different now what we are providing. So back then, not limited to Philippine itself, but even just globally, like when people talk about stable coin and let's say they receive it to their e-wallet, right? Once they receive it, everyone is just kind of confused, like, so what do I do with this? Like, how do I cash it out? Like, it's just the money there, it's not actually physical. So that's why people used to have a bit of a confusion, like, what do I really do with this? It's so inconvenient. And with the whole process of actually trying to get the cash, the local currency, got really really confusing, and people start just getting, you know what, then I don't want to use stablecoin anymore. But then now what we have right now in coins.ph is it's just one click button that you can immediately convert it to either stablecoin or to peso, vice versa. So I think that allows a lot more flexibility and convenience. And then what we're trying to do is to let people know that it's not as hard as it was before. It's actually so much easier, so much more simple.
thanks, Christine. And Oza, thank you for that question. I think another question, really easy, from our Facebook, just to reiterate the point from Piolo as well. Can stablecoin payment technology be used in OFW remittances as well? So I think everyone here is aligned on the answer. The answer to that is definitely yes. And as we mentioned, we've had AMAs also of different partners from different countries or who cater to different countries. And we make sure that sending USDT, USDC back to the Philippines is very simple through our service, our platform. Maybe Manu, Christine, anything you'd like to add also, to add to like how maybe you've seen some of our OFWs also send money back to the Philippines.
Sure. So, in terms of sending money back, I think it's pretty clear how stable coins have been essentially revolutionizing that flow, right? I'd like to highlight another experience. So this might take a while, but I think it's pretty cool. So I went to Australia last year, I think around August. I was staying with with my brother and his family, and there was one time that we didn't have like Australian dollars anymore. So our brother paid for our meal, and of course we wanted to pay him back. And at that time we were stressing out in terms of, oh, how can we convert Australian dollar into Philippine peso quickly, or how can we pay them back before we leave because we were leaving the morning after, and at that time it was already nighttime. So long story short, I essentially pitched, why don't we do this through the blockchain? So I had my sister-in-law make a wallet with an exchange, a local exchange in Australia, and then from my side, I topped up my coins wallet with Philippine peso. I converted it into US dollar, USDT rather. I sent USDT to my sister-in-law's exchange wallet, and then from there they converted it into Australian dollar. That whole process from me topping up to converting to USDT to transferring it to her wallet, and from her converting that or swapping that USDT back into Australian dollar all took around 20 minutes. And that whole process, it cost me, I think, 30 pesos, 13 Philippine pesos. So that's just one real world experience that I personally have gone through. And because of that, my sister in law, I believe she's still using crypto to this day.
Awesome, nice story. Thanks, Manu. Christine, anything you wanna add to that as well?
For me, if I go like even more personal, so there's a lot of conference happening around the world for crypto, or like fintech related. So when I do go attend these conferences, a lot of the times, we will have like client meetings, or we also have like these industry friends that we would like to hang out with and catch up and learn about different sectors. And when we do catch up, we cannot always split the bill because there would be a lot of people or time constraints. And what we normally do is one person just takes a bill and we convert that amount into US dollar. And everyone obviously uses crypto and stablecoin in this industry. So we just directly transfer the money to whoever had to. So that has been just a standard process when we all hang out together. So yeah, it's just actually part of the life that we like live. It's like how you just split the bills with your friends and directly transfer to their bank account. So it's actually a lot common. But I feel like the more you get to know, the easier it gets. Then everyone will be more willing to do it.
Thanks, Christine. Yeah, thank you, Piolo, also for your question. I think it's good that everyone here got to back it up with some personal anecdote for the real world use case. Um, yeah, I think maybe one last question. So, this one from Neil Alexander, they ask, how much lower are the fees using stablecoin rails compared to traditional processes? So, I think everyone here also knows the answer, but definitely a lot lower. And as Manu mentioned, I think he only spent around 50 Philippine pesos to get that money over to his side of the world. Maybe if you guys also have other anecdotes also of like the experience when using crypto rails. So personally, also, yeah, using stablecoin rails, I think another use case is if you're gonna go shopping in another country, um, the fees definitely are minimized, and the time it takes to get to your wallet is faster just because of the nature of the technology. So I hope that answers the question. If anything, if anyone else wants to like add to that, so thanks, Neil, for your question.
No, on my side, I think that's pretty good. Yeah, stablecoins is a lot cheaper. Can't really get more straight to the point than that.
Yeah.
Agreed.
All right. I think oh, okay, maybe one last question. So I think just because we already know the answer to this as well. So from Piola as well again. Does Coins plan on integrating stablecoin payments in regular fiat payments via Coins app or QRPH? So for those who don't know, you can use USDT, USDC, top up your Coins wallet with that, and then you can convert that to Philippine peso and use it to pay for like your bills, to pay for your coffee, your meals, or anything else that you might be able to think of if your partner merchant or vendor does take QRPH. So that's definitely what we want to focus on as well, is using the app to be able to convert your stable coins and then use it in the real world. So yeah, I think that's it. Anything else you guys want to add to that?
Maybe one quick thing, right? So I think when a lot of people think of coins, they automatically associate the platform to a crypto only exchange, meaning that majority of the services that we offer are on the crypto side, and that's pretty much it. That's actually one of the things that we're looking to, I guess, not improve, but supplement. So I'm sure the community may have seen a lot of our efforts over the past few months are more catered to the non-crypto side or the fiat side of our operations. We've partnered with a lot of merchants. We've partnered with a lot of different players here in the local space and also internationally. And I think that's the beauty of what we're trying to build. We're trying to build an all-inclusive app wherein users can, yes, of course, correct, transact via crypto and deposit or withdraw stable coins and other cryptocurrencies straight into the coins.ph app. And then from there, as you mentioned, JC, they can swap it to Philippine peso and do whatever they would want to do in comparison to like other e-wallets where you can pay bills, buy load, send money to other banks, receive money to other banks, and even split payments, as Christine mentioned earlier. So yeah, that's something exciting that I'm looking forward to, because of course internally I'm in the loop. Christine and myself are in the loop with a lot of internal discussions with these bigger players that are very well known in the space. And once things have been finalized, I think the community has a lot to look forward to in terms of different types of integrations.
Awesome. Thanks, Manu. Yeah, let me just hide that. And I think, that's pretty much it. We can wrap it up there. So I guess just to tease our community. So our next AMAs will also be talking a lot more about stablecoin usage. And next week we'll be also having the Kaya team back on, where we'll be, doing a lot more discussion on how they're also using stablecoins since they're catering also to other Asian countries. And we'll also, orient the discussion back to how Filipinos can benefit from that, especially for our Kaya users. So Manu, Christine, thank you for your time again, and I hope everyone learned a little bit about stable coins, whether you're new or you're experienced, and how you can use stable coins on the Coins app. Thank you also to all of our community members who submitted a question to supplement the discussion for tonight. I hope everyone learned something and enjoyed our discussion, and we'll catch you all on another episode of our weekly AMA. It's been a pleasure to host, and have a good rest of your evening wherever you are in the world. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.